My name is Bill Andrews. I'm a veteran. I am very concerned about both jobs and the roads, the highways, and bridges of the country, which are, as everybody admits, in bad shape. There have been proposals to spend federal money on the infrastructure of the country, which would make jobs and which would actually repair some of the things that are badly in need of repair. Republicans in the past have favored this, Democrats have favored it. Why now can't we get that done?
It's a great question, Bill. You're a World War II vet, correct? World War II? Thank you for your service. I'm not going to ask the veterans to stand up or anything like that, but I do want to say that the people who fought for this country, who served in the military honorably, every time we do anything that's an exercise of democracy, including this town hall meeting, I think that we always need to remember that if it weren't for them, we couldn't be doing this. We couldn't be exercising our democratic rights. But to answer your question on infrastructure, it is one of those things which is very frustrating because there's no question that, in my mind anyway, that investment in basic infrastructure, such as things like high-speed rail or even more reliable rail, our airports, basic roads and bridges, making sure that whatever we do with Route 81, we have the resources to do it, but also water infrastructure. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but there have been more water main breaks. Shouldn't be a surprise. Our water infrastructure in central New York is decades, and in some cases over 100 years old. It's amazing that it's worked this long. I mean, we've got our money's worth from it, but we need to do those things. And yet it's a problem in Washington getting it through. I work very closely with Richard Hanna, who is the congressman in the neighboring district. He's from Utica. He and I toured together the Port of Oswego, for instance, recently. And he's on the committee that does these things, and he's all for it. There is no partisan divide here in central New York, in my view, on this issue. But there are forces in Washington who, for whatever reason, don't believe in government of any kind. And in the case of infrastructure, there really is, I believe even in public-private partnerships. I'm willing to be very creative when it comes to financing infrastructure. But ultimately, when you're talking about something that all of us share, it has to be, the federal government has to have a major role in it. And until we get through that impasse in the House, it's very difficult. There have been many, many people, from Arnold Schwarzenegger to former Governor Rendell of Pennsylvania and Mayor Bloomberg, all willing to work together to create an infrastructure bank, a proposal I really support. But these are investments. It's not the same thing as spending that you don't know will have a return. You're buying something of substance, a road, a bridge, a water system that will pay dividends. And because of that, I just think it's so vital to our economy that we invest in them. And so I'll continue to fight with my Republican allies like Richard Hanna for more investment in infrastructure, because I really think that it will have those dividends. And finally, we should give to our children and their children a better community than we have ourselves. And by letting all this infrastructure fail and go downhill, eventually it's going to cost them far, far more to replace it, to undo the damage, particularly the environmental damage, if we don't fix our water and sewer systems, than if we didn't do it. So, we should do it. And I really thank you for the point.
Well, what are the prospects?
I've got to be honest with you. They're dim in the near term. In the last Congress, they were only able to pass a 2-year stopgap bill, when usually you did a 6-year. Back when I worked for Senator Moynihan, and he was powerful on the Transportation Committee in the Senate. It was a 6-year bill. These are kind of projects that you need some time to plan, so a 1-year or 2-year bill doesn't work. Centro, for instance, they really need a longer bill so that they can plan and make sure that they have the resources and to have the fleet and can plan where buses are going to be needed. But I wish I could tell you it's going through, but right now it's very, very challenging to get anything that